From Hugh Jackman and Paris Hilton to the esteemed Martha Stewart, some of Hollywood's finest have spent their days locked up behind bars.
Amy Locane, who is an actress on the TV show Melrose Place, that woman's family testified at the sentencing hearing today about their pain and their anger.
But unfortunately, unlike them, many were put away for much more serious crimes for several years. Many celebrities like Jace and Ryan Grantham are currently rotting in jail, counting the days till their eventual release. Let's find out how they landed in hot water and whether they will be able to revive their careers ever again. Number 10. Amy Locane. Amy Locane, known for her famous appearances with celebrities such as Brendan Fraser, Matt Damon, and Johnny Depp, began her acting career in commercials before moving on to the big screen. Her filmography included appearances in critically praised films such as School Ties, Cry Baby, and Going All the Way, where her acting abilities and personality wowed viewers. However, Locane's life took a sad turn on the fateful night of June 27, 2010, when she was involved in a devastating car accident. Locane was driving under the influence when she collided with another vehicle, killing a passenger. In the aftermath of this heinous crime, she suffered severe legal consequences. Locane's legal odyssey began in December 2010 with charges of vehicular homicide and aggravated attack, and ended in November 2012 with a guilty verdict on vehicular homicide and assault by auto. The weight of justice fell on her when she was condemned to 3 years in prison. Locane served her term with honor and was released in 2015. However, her personal life began to crumble when her marriage went down the drain the following year, adding to her life's turbulent chapters. In 2016, the legal odyssey took a fresh turn when a fresh Jersey court reconsidered Locane's case, finding her previous sentence too light. In February 2019, she faced the dismal reality of an extended sentence, with her conviction raised to 5 years, a brutal reminder of the long-term consequences of her conduct. However, the legal pendulum swung once more in September 2022, when Locane found herself forced back into the judicial spotlight. In an unexpected turn of events, her 5-year sentence was overturned, only to be replaced with a more severe verdict, an 8-year term that cast doubt on her future. Number 9. Zachary Joseph Horowitz. Zachary Joseph Horowitz, best known by his stage name Zach Avery, made his acting debut in the 2009 film GED. However, his legacy extends beyond acting, as Avery was a crucial co-founder in the formation of NMM Productions Company. This production company carved out a position in the entertainment industry by focusing on acquiring and distributing content designed to appeal to mass audiences. However, Avery's life took a dismal and chaotic turn in April 2021, putting him into legal trouble. Accused and apprehended on allegations of wire fraud, he became enmeshed in the complicated web of an alleged Ponzi scheme that unfolded over several years beginning in 2017. At the heart of this heinous scheme was the systematic exploitation of investors, with Avery and his colleagues allegedly orchestrating a deliberate ruse that stole a staggering $700 million from unsuspecting individuals. Avery and his associates' strategy involved pulling in over 200 investors, including some of Avery's personal connections, by promising them astronomical returns. These alluring potential were supplemented by false promises that investor cash would be wisely used to gain coveted license rights for major cinematic platforms like HBO and Netflix, with a particular emphasis on the booming Latin American market. However, the mask of legitimacy that hid these guarantees was quickly shattered by the tireless quest for truth via investigations. Revelations emerged, shattering Avery and his co-conspirators' masterfully manufactured facade of trustworthiness. Contrary to their claims, no genuine distribution rights were ever obtained, and the alleged contracts presented by Avery as evidence of their efforts were nothing more than elaborate fabrications. In the face of overwhelming evidence and the unstoppable march for justice, Avery ultimately chose to plead guilty to one count of securities fraud on October 4, 2021, implicitly admitting his role in the intricate hoax that had entangled numerous people. However, the consequences of his guilt echoed well beyond the courtroom as the judicial machinery quickly delivered its decision. On February 14, 2022, a date that will live in infamy, Avery was sentenced to 22 years in a federal penitentiary. However, the implementation of punitive measures did not end there. Avery was also ordered to make restitution in the amount of $230 million, a symbolic gesture intended to alleviate the financial devastation wreaked on the unwary investors who had placed their trust in him. Number 8. Samuel George Hurd. Samuel George Hurd, a well-known American football player, made his mark on the National Football League while playing for the Dallas Cowboys and the Chicago Bears. However, his spectacular career has been eclipsed by a severe legal morass, putting a fog over his once gleaming legacy. The seeds of Hurd's legal predicament were planted in the rich soil of drug trafficking, with suspicions circling about his suspected involvement in the purchase and sale of illegal substances. The federal drug charges against him were filed in the Northern District of Texas's Dallas Division, with the investigation driven by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, a robust legal force that left no stone unturned in its pursuit of justice. This perplexing legal drama began in July 2011, during a chaotic era defined by an NFL lockout, when Hurd was playing for the Chicago Bears. During this volatile period, law enforcement officials initially raised suspicions about him, associating him with a group of drug dealers detained in California in August 2011. Notably, a phone number associated with Hurd appeared on the caller ID of one of the accused suppliers, providing incriminating evidence in the eyes of the law. Hurd made a significant legal move in January to maintain his innocence, hiring a new attorney and pleading not guilty. However, as events progressed, his legal problems grew progressively worse. In a stunning turn of events, he was arrested again on August 9, 2012, suspected of violating his bond conditions by failing 2 controlled substance tests. Reports surfaced suggesting not only his failure to pass these tests, but also his admission to substance abuse on both occasions. An admission that echoed the gravity of his situation. In response to his repeated violations, a federal judge issued an unusual judgment, ordering Hurd's indefinite detention, a stunning witness to the gravity of his conduct and the scope of the legal maze that entangled him. Faced with overwhelming evidence and insurmountable odds, Hurd proceeded on a journey of reckoning, announcing his intention to change his plea to guilty in April 2013, a choice that would forever change the course of his life. Hurd was sentenced to 15 years in prison, a harsh punishment that highlighted the gravity of his crimes and the irreparable harm caused by his conduct. Hurd is currently serving his time in the Federal Correction Institute in Bastrop, Texas, and his life is far from the glitz and glamour of his former football career. Number 7. Austin Henry Jones. From 2007 to 2017, Austin Henry Jones, a former American musician and YouTuber, carved out a digital niche for himself. His musical adventure began in 2007, and by 2010, he had created his own distinct oeuvre. Jones rose to internet notoriety, acquiring a sizable following on YouTube with over 500,000 members and an astounding 20 million video views. However, his rise to digital prominence was eclipsed by a terrifying and profoundly troubling turn of events. In May 2015, the repercussions of a seismic scandal shook the digital landscape when Pup Fresh, a prominent music website, leveled devastating accusations against Jones. Accusations surfaced, accusing him of engaging in illicit internet conversations with a large number of female fans, making use of his celebrity profile to entice and manipulate these susceptible women. In reaction to these serious charges, Jones took an unexpected step, publishing a video on his YouTube account titled "Setting the Record Straight." In a shocking admission, he admitted to the reality of the claims, recognizing the heinous nature of his acts. The aftermath of Jones's admission was quick and harsh. In June 2017, law enforcement officers executed a search order at his home, which led to his arrest by agents from the United States Immigration and Customs Enforcement Homeland Security Investigations at O'Hare International Airport. Subsequent judicial processes marked a watershed moment in Jones's life as he filed a guilty plea in February 2019, indicating the end of a lengthy legal struggle. Jones was sentenced to a decade in federal prison, marking a milestone moment in his difficult path. Concomitantly, his digital trace faced a similar fate, with his YouTube channel being closed in February 2019, effectively wiping his virtual presence from digital history. Jones, who is currently detained at FCI Loretto, navigates the ups and downs of prison life, his existence limited by concrete and steel. With a release date of December 31, 2027, he faces the consequences of his conduct, including the specter of remorse and the enduring weight of accountability. Number 6. Ryan Grantham. Ryan Grantham's future in the entertainment world previously appeared bright, with his youthful talent poised to carry him to the pinnacle of Hollywood stardom. However, his bright career was abruptly halted by a terrible and irreversible error, leaving a trail of misery and devastation in its wake. The Canadian actor emerged into the scene with a slew of roles, demonstrating his flexibility and charisma in roughly 40 films and television shows. His debut in the 2007 television film The Secret of the Nutcracker signaled the start of a promising career. Grantham quickly rose up the ranks, landing important roles in major productions such as the big-budget sci-fi action picture Jumper in 2008. As his career progressed, Grantham appeared in a wide range of movies, including noteworthy performances in Terry Gilliam's The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus and the famous family comedy Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Television fans also became acquainted with him through appearances on famous shows such as iZombie, Supernatural, and Riverdale, each of which contributed to his burgeoning image as a strong talent on the rise. Grantham's rise to prominence was cruelly cut short on March 31, 2020, when he committed an unthinkable act of violence that destroyed his career and personal life. According to the New York Times, Grantham fatally shot his own mother in the back of the head in a moment of unimaginable sorrow, breaking his ideal existence for good. Following his horrible crime, Grantham's spiral into darkness became increasingly clear. The depths of his sorrow and anguish were exposed as he taped a video confession, revealing his frightening intent to commit other acts of violence, including an attempt on Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's life. However, in a moment of clarity, Grantham chose a different course, submitting himself to the authorities the next day. The fast and relentless hand of justice delivered a thundering verdict, condemning Grantham to life in prison, with a ray of hope in the shape of possible parole after 14 years. His attorney, Chris Johnson, provided insight into Grantham's inner agony and the difficult path to self-awareness and repentance that lay ahead. In a statement to TMZ, Johnson disclosed Grantham's sincere efforts to confront his demons, seeking consolation in the help and resources offered to him within the prison walls. Elizabeth Holmes was a woman formerly regarded as a pioneer in the fields of science and medicine. In 2014, Holmes captured the world's attention with her innovative startup, Theranos, and its alleged game-changing innovation, the Edison test. This gadget, she claimed, has the potential to revolutionize medical diagnostics by producing correct results with only a few drops of blood, removing the need for invasive and time-consuming tests. Investors raced to Theranos, raising its worth to a remarkable $9 billion and consolidating Holmes's position as one of history's youngest self-made billionaires. However, by 2016, the stately facade had begun to disintegrate. The Edison test was revealed to be a hoax, incapable of living up to its grandiose promises. Theranos' demise was rapid and final, with Holmes being charged with fraud for fooling investors and patients alike. In the ensuing legal battle, Holmes faced a slew of charges, and a federal court eventually found her guilty on various counts of deceiving patients. Despite attempts to appeal, Holmes was sentenced to a hefty prison term of 11 years and 3 months. Number 5. Shannon Guess Richardson. Best known for her appearance in The Walking Dead, Shannon became embroiled in a serious court dispute in 2013. According to the Texarkana Gazette, Richardson pleaded guilty to a slew of counts, including developing, producing, possessing, and transferring a poison with the express intent to weaponize it. Her heinous crimes included sending threatening letters laced with poison to then-President Barack Obama and 2 others. The meticulous preparation behind Richardson's plot revealed a chilling story. She carried out her diabolical plan by obtaining the necessary supplies with a credit card and account registered in her husband's name. Richardson, who was pregnant and caring for 4 children at the time, began secretly producing ricin, a lethal toxin derived from castor beans, in the seclusion of their shared house. The letters, ominous in substance and meaning, were sent to Obama New York Mayor Michael Bloomberg and Michael Glaze, a member of Mayors Against Illegal Guns. The FBI acted quickly, gathering and studying the disturbing correspondence, revealing the breadth of Richardson's evil intentions. Her motivations, as disclosed by the letters, centered on the sensitive issue of gun regulation. Richardson was not satisfied with simply circulating harmful messages. She also attempted to entangle her own spouse in her web of deception by planting evidence in his vehicle and lunchbox. However, her attempts to dodge retribution failed. Following her arrest in 2013, Richardson faced the full weight of the legal system. The conclusion of judicial proceedings yielded a dismal result, an 18-year sentence, emphasizing the gravity of her crimes and the far-reaching consequences of her conduct. Richardson's story is a sobering reminder of the depths of human depravity and the potential for terrible harm that exists among seemingly ordinary people. Her spiral into criminality, contrasted with her portrayal of characters on television, provides a striking statement on the intricacies of human nature and the blurring lines between reality and fiction. Number 4. Nathaniel Glover. Better known as Kid Creole, Glover is a seminal player in hip-hop history, co-founding the pioneering group Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. However, his legacy took a sad turn in 2017 when he became entangled in a serious legal dispute. According to the source, Glover, then 61, was arrested and charged with second degree after an altercation that resulted in the stabbing death of John Jolly in Midtown Manhattan. Glover attempted to provide his viewpoint on the sad events that led to his incarceration in an emotional interview taped in March 2021. Despite widespread charges of homophobia, Glover fiercely denied any wrongdoing, citing self-defense rather than planned hatred. He vehemently denied any enmity towards the LGBTQ community, claiming that his acts were only motivated by a primitive desire for self-preservation. Glover described the horrific meeting with Jolly, a documented offender, as one of increasing anxiety and apprehension. What started out as a harmless chat quickly turned into a dangerous conflict, as Jolly, according to Glover's retelling, became increasingly aggressive, instilling fear and uncertainty in Glover's mind. The rapper's reminiscence depicts a harrowing struggle for survival as he confronts the impending threat of violence in the center of a bustling city. His words are filled with palpable agony as he considers the terrible toll exacted by his captivity. Glover, imprisoned in a cell, is caught up in a never-ending loop of uncertainty, his destiny hanging perilously in the balance as the wheels of justice slowly turn. The weight of seclusion weighs hard on him, a burden exacerbated by the continuous delays in his legal actions. Number 3. Buck Zumhofe. Buck Zumhofe, a character previously associated with the sparkle and glamour of 1980s wrestling, sank into infamy after a fall from grace that echoed across sports entertainment history. As a flashy glam rocker turned wrestler, Hoff established himself in promotions such as the AWA and Pro Wrestling America, basking in the glow of moderate success. However, it was his time with what was then known as the World Wrestling Federation that would ultimately define his legacy, one plagued by controversy and scandal. By the time Hoff signed with the WWF, his star had already begun to fade, and he was reduced to the role of an enhancement talent, entrusted with enhancing the reputations of more prominent wrestlers through decisive losses. During this turbulent period, Hoff made his mark in wrestling history as the unfortunate victim of a body bag from WWE legend The Undertaker, an embarrassing distinction that highlighted his slide from grace. However, Hoff's spiral into shame went far beyond the squared circle. In May 2013, his world came crashing down as he found himself entangled in a terrible legal struggle, facing a slew of accusations arising from inappropriate misconduct allegations made by his own daughter. These damning claims portrayed a picture of a man overwhelmed by darkness, in stark contrast to the larger-than-life image he previously exhibited in the ring. For Hoff, the courtroom became a battleground, where his past transgressions returned to haunt him. Having already spent time for inappropriate misdeeds in the 1980s, his past transgressions cast a lengthy shadow over his current situation, adding validity to the claims leveled against him. In a scathing conviction, Hoff was found guilty of all 12 counts of criminal misconduct, sealing his fate with a sentence of more than 20 years in prison, a fate that ensured he would most certainly spend the rest of his life behind bars, where he belonged. Number 2. Michael Jace. Michael Jace, an actor known for his quiet yet memorable performances in a number of classic films, frequently played characters that blended smoothly into the tapestry of blockbuster cinema. From brief appearances in films such as Forrest Gump, Clear and Present Danger, and Planet of the Apes, to more substantial roles in productions such as Gridiron Gang, Jace left an everlasting stamp on the silver screen. However, it was his role in the television series The Shield that really propelled him into the spotlight. In The Shield, Jace captivated audiences with his portrayal of a confused gay police officer battling with the intricacies of his Catholic upbringing and steadfast moral compass in a morally ambiguous culture. His subtle performance captivated audiences, highlighting his considerable acting abilities and winning him great accolades. Despite the sparkle and glamour of Hollywood, tragedy struck on the dreadful evening of May 19, 2014. The peace of Michael Jace's house was disrupted by a worrisome call to the Los Angeles Police Department, reporting a terrifying incident. Law enforcement authorities responded quickly and found a scene of horror. Jace's wife had been shot and was lying motionless. The initial shock and disbelief quickly gave way to harsh reality when Jace was arrested and accused of a horrible crime. As the investigation progressed, a concerning trend emerged: a history of domestic violence, with Jace described as a physically aggressive spouse. It became clear that this heinous act of violence was an attempt to keep his wife from abandoning him, a horrifying display of power and manipulation. The wheels of justice worked relentlessly, culminating in May 2016, when Jace faced the full force of legal repercussions. He was found guilty of second-degree murder and sentenced to 40 years to life in prison. The gavel's booming decree resonated throughout the courtroom, cementing Jace's fate and forever changing the course of his life. Michael Jace is currently incarcerated at Corcoran State Prison in California, a dramatic contrast to his previous life of glitz and glamour in the entertainment world. The once famous actor is now dealing with the harsh realities of confinement. His life is reduced to the monotony of prison rituals and the burden of remorse. Number 1. Todd and Julie Chrisley. Todd and Julie Chrisley's story, once the stuff of reality TV, has taken a turn for the worse, plunging the couple into legal strife. The Chrisleys, well known for their hit show Chrisley Knows Best, found themselves entangled in a legal quagmire, facing allegations ranging from bank and wire fraud to tax evasion and conspiracy. A long cry from the dazzling image they once projected on screen. However, it is essential to note that the pair adamantly disputes these charges, claiming innocence in the face of rising judicial pressure. The Chrisleys' story began to unravel in August 2019, when the pair was indicted by a federal grand jury, sending shockwaves across their formerly idyllic lifestyle. According to their version of events, the seeds of dishonesty were planted as early as 2012, and the couple claims that their personnel played a crucial role in arranging the alleged crime. Employees were accused of forging Todd and Julie's signatures on false documents, and dissident staff members experienced coercion and threats of violence in order to maintain a shroud of secrecy. Following a trial packed with legal wrangling and courtroom drama, Todd and Julie Chrisley were found guilty of conspiring to swindle banks out of over $30 million in illicit loans. Their sentences included a slew of tax-related violations, including allegations of attempting to deceive the Internal Revenue Service, casting a cloud over their once pristine reputations. Following their convictions, the court hammer dropped with thundering finality, meting out terrible sentences proportionate to the gravity of their crimes. Todd Chrisley, once the patriarchal figurehead of their reality television empire, was sentenced to 12 years in prison, with an additional period of supervised release looming over his head. Julie Chrisley, his wife and former partner in crime, was sentenced to 7 years in jail, followed by 3 years of supervised release, a striking reminder of the couple's dramatic fall from grace. However, the consequences of their acts went beyond their own lives, ensnaring others in a tangled web of deceit and dishonesty. Their accountant, a significant figure in the story, was also caught up in the legal morass, earning a 3-year prison sentence followed by another 3 years of supervised release, a monument to the far-reaching consequences of their alleged wrongdoing. We hope you enjoyed this video. See you in the next one.